Hi, here is Fuji here from KendoGuide.com. Again, I'm sorry, I'm driving. And then first of all, before I forget, I have this new thing going, which is called Patreon system. What it is simply I'm asking you to be my sponsor or supporter. It's been very hard for me to keep this going. So if you like what I'm doing and like making videos, writing articles, simply what I do to promote Kendo to the world, please consider to be my sponsor or supporter. And second of all, in this video, I would like to talk about Kata, simple Kata thing. That I've read this article written by Blake Bennett at the Kendo World's website, and I quite agree with this article. Basically, in Japan, not many people, not many dojos train kata in regular practices. That's because I don't know the reason. Because they think it's boring, or they think it's not necessary, or they just think it's just a requirement for exam. And that's not how I learned. It is a requirement, but it doesn't mean you just practice before exam. And that's not what I learned from any senses, basically. You have to do kata, you can learn a lot of things from kata. And kata also has cultural and historical values. Kata tells us where Kendo came from. Kendo used to be Kenjutsu, right? And then Kenjutsu, then it became Kendo, to make a long story short. So, and kata has stances, kamae, that we don't use in Kendo anymore because of many reasons. So, we are learning where the Kendo came from. And not only that, it has meaning as well. And unfortunately, these things aren't those why we do kata number one. What's the meaning of kata number one? This isn't an instruction book. So you have to study, or a lot of people have to study on their own, and they have their interpretations. And I have thought about it as well, but I learned these things from books and magazines when they talk about it. So if you study kata, it's deep, really deep. So you really have to start thinking why you are doing kata. It's not because you are required for exam. And the article I read by Blake Bennett said kata should be before, like first thing to do in exam. Not Kendo, kata. Can you do kata properly? And then let's see. And if you pass kata, okay, let's see your Kendo. I like the idea. I've been thinking that too. That's because at the dojo I instruct, I have kata training in each session. We have 2 classes per week. In each training session, we do kata, 30 minutes. One training session is 1.5 hours, so a third of training session is dedicated to kata. And another training session is only 1 hour, and 30 minutes is dedicated to kata. So 50% of training session is dedicated to kata. It's simple. Kata is important. It's not kata is just you can study like that and you can learn the meaning. You can Okay, maybe you can get the movements right if you start doing kata 1 week before exam. But it's not like that. You have to think about your meaning of kata. You have to think about breathing. You have to think about distance. You have to think about center. You have to think about everything you learned or you are learning in Kendo. And of course, you don't have menon, okay? And it's kata. It's decided. It's formatted. You know what's going on. So you can concentrate on fixing your Kendo posture, how you grab your sword, right? And you can learn body movements. Tai sabaki. Tai sabaki is body movements, okay? You can learn footwork. You can learn all kinds of things for kata. But people don't study it. Why? I don't know why. I think it's very beneficial. I think people think it's boring, and I think people think it's just a requirement for grading, and they don't think it's very important. That's it. It's not. If they think it's very important, they will study it, right? So if you are not in Japan, I'm sure there are dojos in Japan too. Put a lot of values. I think kata is very important, so they study a lot. But many, let's say my club, when I was in high school or junior high school, we didn't do any kata at the club activities, right? So that's because simple. Kata, we didn't see benefit, or many probably teachers don't see any benefits directly related to winning in shiai, right? Probably that's why. It's not very important. It doesn't really do much to students who is thinking to become or to win shiai tournament. Okay, I think it's simple as that. And then when we have a lot of 8th dan senseis, or from All Japan Kendo Federation or International Kendo Federation, they always they always talk about the basics, how important the basics are, and how kata is important, and they keep telling us study kata. But when you go to Japan and you don't really see people studying kata, this is double standard, right? And I'm sure that those sensei is just telling you because the All Japan Kendo Federation told them to tell us. I don't think so, but I think they're telling us because they think it's very important. Because they're 8 months, they know how important kata is. But probably the end user, right? End users of kata don't really see the benefit. And I really think it's a good idea to have kata first in exam, because I really think, I always tell my students, if we can have kata first, you all pass whatever dan they are going for. Maybe they will fail Kendo part of exam. Maybe, I don't know, but at least they can do really good kata because they practice a lot, right? They don't see it as requirement for exam. At least I don't see it like that. So they practice a lot, they study a lot, they think about kata a lot. So, but they don't get to show kata to those judging panels because they fail Kendo. So I don't know which is more important, Kendo or kata. I think they are both important. And Kata can tell us this a very important part of a concept of a Kendo. A Kendo is to discipline human characters through the principles of the katana. Katana is Japanese sword. Bokuto is the closest thing in Kendo, right, to katana, unless you do Iai. Okay? So I think it's very important, and I would like to talk more about this for this Kendo for Life family Patreon area. So please support what I'm doing again, and if you'd like to hear what I would like to say about this, I'm going to talk about professionalism in Kendo in the Patreon area. Thank you for listening, and I'll see you in the next video.